Hi, welcome back. I'm Jennifer Glass, and I'm here today with the amazing team of Yoga Lifestyles. And we are going to do a little yummy goodness of yoga for calmness. So if you have just got home from work or had a long day, or maybe it's just time to go to sleep, this is something that you can do to just help yourself calm your mind, calm your physical body. And what I love about it is that oftentimes when you're stressed or you need a calm, people turn to all sorts of different options. Maybe it's a glass of wine after work. But one thing that really drew me to yoga was learning that yoga is absolutely magical. So there's nothing I found to be better to calm myself, to relieve anxiety or worry or stress than yoga. And I hope that you find that to be true today too with our little flow. So just go ahead and find a seated, comfortable position. So whatever's the most comfortable for you. If you have a yoga block at home you want to sit on, if you want to even lie down, or maybe just Indian style here. And close your eyes. So close your eyes and place your right hand on your heart and your left hand on your stomach. And just start to breathe. So seal your lips and breathe in. Breathe all the way in, and at the top of your inhale, sip in a little bit more air, and keep your lips sealed and exhale, finding equal length in your inhales and your exhales. So one more time, seal your lips, breathe in through your nose, and cultivate your breath in the back of your throat. Almost like you're making a silent oceanic sound, or like you're fogging up mirrors in a room. And then equal length exhale. And this is called your Ujjayi breath, where your lips are sealed and you're breathing in and out. And at any time you can open your mouth to release heat. And just notice how your body is feeling. So feel your heartbeat. Feel your inhales and your exhales with your hand on your stomach. And notice if your breaths are short, tight, or are they long. Just tune into your own internal body. Bring the awareness inside. And anything else that comes up, anything else that comes to your mind, acknowledge it and then just let it go. Let your to-do list go. Let anything on your mind just evaporate away. And then blink your eyes to open and come to child's pose. So spread your knees hip distance width apart and sink your heels back towards your hips. And then allow your forehead and your palms to come down to the mat. And just gently rest your forehead on the mat. So stay down low. I'm gonna come up so you can just hear me. But as you lie here in child's pose, if it feels better to keep your knees closer or further apart, do that, because all this is about is feeling good. So allow your hips to sink back further. Just rest your palms down. So stay here in child's pose. And allow yourself to arrive. So just allow yourself to be present. So allow your mind, your soul, your heart, your body to arrive onto your mat. The yoga mat is such a beautiful place to invite in stress and meet it head on. And a lot of times people think that, yoga, just takes away stress. But really it transforms it all together. So invite it in and meet it head on. And then in child's pose, just walk your hands to the right. So walk your hands across your body over to the right side. Inhale and find length on your exhale. So press your palms into the earth and stay here and keep breathing and feel the whole left side of your body really stretching and opening up. And focus on your breath. Focus on just being here and being present. And then slowly walk your hands back to center. And then walk your hands to the left side. So keeping your hands pressed into the earth, your head down low. Feel your entire right side stretching, so your ribs, your side body, and really lean into it. And then exhale, make your way back to child's pose in the center. And then inhale, come to tabletop. Ever so slowly, make your way with your hands directly under your shoulders, your knees hip distance width apart. And really focus on alignment, so bone over bone, meaning shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. And lengthen and elongate the muscles along your spine. A string is pulling your head forward. And then breathing in and out. Exhale, downward facing dog. So tuck your toes and send your hips up and back. Press your palms into the mat. Your feet come mat distance width apart or hip distance width apart. Maybe take it even a little bit wider. You can grasp your mat. Bring your fingers underneath your mat. And then allow yourself to sink back even further. So ears past the biceps. Maybe the crown of your head hovers on the ground. Really get into the back and the shoulders where we carry so much stress and tension. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. And bring your toes to touch. And inhale your right leg high. So come up on the tippy toes of your left foot. Inhale your right leg high. And your toes are flexed. And your toes are pointing down to the earth. So look back, are all 10 toes facing down, so your hips are squared off. Then inhale to half pigeon. So bring your right knee inside of your right wrist. And then you're sitting on top of your left hip flexor and your left toes. And your foot is flexed. So the end goal, the full expression, is that your shin becomes parallel with the front of the mat. So perhaps today your shin's a little bit further back. Keep your foot flexed just to protect the knees and protect the joints. And then inhale, lift up, open your chest. Gaze back, a little back bend. So lift out of your low back, you're bending from your upper back. And then exhale, put your pigeon in this little bed. So go ahead and lean forward and allow your chin to have somewhere to rest. So if this is as far forward as you go, be okay with that, because that's where you're at today, and that's wonderful. If you feel that you can comfortably go a little further, maybe your forehead comes down to the mat, and just stay here. So stay there in your half pigeon, and we stay in half pigeon for a certain amount of time, because you may notice how much clenching and tightness there is in your hips. So we carry so many emotions and feelings in our hips. So even while we're sitting at a desk at work or driving in a car, you might notice how tight your hips actually are. So even when you leave this practice, start to notice that and tune in. Notice when you are driving or doing those things, are you tightening up, and is there anything you can release? So as you lie here in half pigeon, after a certain amount of time, you'll notice that your body starts to release and sink deeper. And that is, psychology-wise, your body at first thinks, oh my goodness, what are you doing to me? I don't like this, I don't want to stay. And this is where you find growth. So rather than resisting, just relax and breathe into it. So wherever feels tight, visualize your breath and guide your breath there. So it's almost as if you're a piece of twine all wrapped together, and start to visualize with each breath it unwinding the other way, and feel yourself sink a little bit deeper. And then ever so slowly, press yourself back up to where we started here. And inhale. And you can stay here, which is a beautiful option. If you feel that you need a little bit more, you can bend your left foot. Your right hand can reach back to grab the inside or the outside of your foot. And really, as long as it's in healthy alignment, there is no right or wrong. No two bodies look alike. No two bodies are gonna move alike in a yoga class. So hear the cues and then move however it feels best to you in your body. And then exhale, release. And come back to downward facing dog, and let's open our hip the other way. So inhale, your right leg high, you're on the toes of your left foot, and you can bend your right knee. Feel as if your left shoulder is trying to touch your right heel. Really open up the side hip. You can make circles and move it around, and this is a great place to stay. Or you can flip your dog. Drop your right foot down, your right knee is bent, left leg is straight, the weight is on the pinky toe side of your left foot, pressing into your left palm, and inhale, send your hips up to the sky, reach up to the sky. And my favorite expression is bringing your hand to your heart and just tuning in and noticing your heartbeat again. And then exhale, back to downward facing dog. Come up on the ball of your right foot. Inhale your left leg high, flex your toes. Gaze back, or all 5 toes facing down to the earth. Your hips are squared off. Inhale, curl your left knee through. So really cat-cow, arch your back, kiss your knee, and then bring your left knee inside of your left hand. And come to the same place you did on one side, on the other side, to really start building that muscle balance. So your foot's flexed. You're resting on the top of your right hip flexor and all 5 toes. So if your toes look like they're a little sickled, straighten it out. So we're really protecting all the muscles and joints. And then inhale, lift out of your low back, just gently pressing into the earth. And exhale, little back bend, really arching from your upper back. Open your mouth and stick out your tongue. And it looks ridiculous, but guess what? No one can see. And it feels amazing. Lion's breath, and then exhale. Put your little pigeon to sleep. So place for your head to rest on your hands all the way down. And just stay there. So stay in your half pigeon and just breathe into it. We do carry so much stress and tension in our hips, but also in our shoulders. And so on the mat, but even throughout your day, if you're sitting behind a computer, you know, they say sitting's the new smoking, as in the way that we're just compressing everything all day, and start to notice, can you relax your shoulders away from your ears, like in yoga at work? So even if you're behind a desk, think about, taking my shoulders away from my ears, they're not earrings, squeezing the lower shoulder blades together, thinking about engaging your abs. Not so hard that you can't breathe, but just cognitively realizing that they're engaged. And then as you squeeze the shoulder blades together, you start to really engage these muscles back here. And so you're taking a lot of weight and pressure off your forearms, your pronator muscle, which likely start to feel a lot if you're behind a computer tickling the keys like this. So as you're in class and you're relaxing your shoulders away from your ears, just think about that in class and then off your mat too. Then inhale, press yourself back up. And I like to tell stories while you rest in half pigeon, because hopefully it made the time go by a lot faster and you weren't thinking about, oh my God, get me out of this. And inhale, stay here, or option to bend your right knee, left hand reaches back, grasp inside or outside. You can really press and lean into it. You can drop down to your forearm. And then gently come back up. We're gonna come in a 3-leg down dog. Left leg reaches high. Toes are flexed. Bend your left knee, open up your hip the reverse way. So left heel to right shoulder. If you flip the dog on one side, do it on the other. Left knee bends, right leg is straight. Weight is on the pinky toe side of your right foot. Press into that right palm, plugging your lower shoulder blade under to protect your shoulders. Reach back, hips up. Maybe your hand lands on your heart. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. And then roll yourself forward to a high plank. Drop down to your knees and then roll over to your back. So make your way to your back and lie down. Give yourself a big, big, big hug, tighter than you have all day or all week or all weekend. It's your own intimate body. So get intimate with yourself and give yourself some love. Then exhale into a variation to supine twist. Arms reach out east and west of your body, and then eagle legs, so left leg over your right. You can take it all the way around to a kickstand wrap. Now before you drop your knees to the right, wiggle your hips to the left, and then drop down. So you really have straight alignment. Think of yourself as like the horse on a carousel. This is the pole. So you want it straight up and down rather than your hips all the way to the right. And just breathe. And it's more important here that both of your shoulder blades are on the earth rather than your knees touching the ground. So really focus on pressing both shoulder blades down. And gaze over your left fingertips or up, whatever feels better to you. And just breathe. Just allow yourself to be present. And that is truly how we find happiness, realizing that the past is behind us, so there's nothing we can do about it. The future isn't here yet, and all we truly have is the present moment. Inhale your knees back to center. Wiggle your hips over, wrap your forearms around your shins, nice big hug. Arms back out east and west. Eagle legs right over left or all the way around to kickstand. Wiggle your hips over. And then twist. So stay here. So stay there in your twist. So a variation of supine twist. And just tune in and use your breath to be present. So even on your mat and into life, you know, they say the mat to life connection or living your yoga. I first thought that meant you carry your yoga mat around everywhere or something. Then I realized it just means that yoga gives you tools, tools in your toolbox to use throughout your whole day. So as you feel overwhelmed or stressed or anxiety, just tune into your breath. Even if that means taking 10 seconds, just going to another room or just sitting in your car while you're not driving, but close your eyes and just breathe. And anything else that comes into your mind, acknowledge it and let it go. And bring your knees back to your center and wrap your arms around your shins, nice big tight ball. And then exhale into Savasana. And variations for Savasana, what I usually love for yoga for calmness is Supta Baddha Konasana. Your knees are open wide. You can help guide them down. Your palms down by your side with your palms facing up, or infinity hands where your arms reach above, palms facing up. And my last favorite variation is where we started, with your right hand on your heart, your left on your stomach. And just be. So truly allow yourself to just be and trust that where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. Nothing else to do, nowhere else to be. So that mind monkey, that to-do list, just let it go. Cultivate a sense of being present by using your breath. And if your mind wanders, start to count your breaths. So start to count them, inhaling to 4 and exhaling for 4. Then maybe to 5 and exhaling for 5. And if anything distracts you, take that thought, put it into a purple balloon, and visualize it floating away. Just let it go. We have 60,000 thoughts a day. and only about 10% are new. So what are you holding on to that no longer serves you, that you can put into a little purple balloon and watch it float away? And then make your way to a comfortable seated position. So start to stretch, maybe like you're just waking up for the first time today. Reblooming, refreshing. You have a clean plate to fill up with all that's good and new. And come back to exactly where you started. So if that was in child's pose, or if you were seated like this, wherever you started, come back here. And then palms on your knees. With the palms up, it invites in energy. Palms down, it invites in calmness. So let's place our palms down and close your eyes. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, squeezing your lower shoulder blades together. And breathing in, seal your lips and breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then open mouth, exhale, let everything go. And then bring your hands to heart center. And Namaste just means that the teacher and student in me honors the teacher and student in you. And in honor and respect and appreciation of practicing with me today, bow forward in Namaste. So thank you so much for practicing this yoga for calmness or yoga for sleep, and try to take some of these thoughts and intentions with you throughout the rest of your day and into your week. Namaste.